Welcome back, guys, to another headlight disassemble video. And this video I'll show you guys how I take apart this 2017 Ford F150 Platinum Edition headlights. They use Permaseal, and they were taken apart before, so I'll show you guys how I take apart the spare parts. The problem with this headlight, it had a mod that was done with using a diode dynamic switchback DRL for the Sealant, the one that goes around it, that goes from white to amber. But the person that bought this headlights did not like the option, so he asked me to go back to the amber. And on top of that, he's missing the driver to make it all work. So he gave me his original headlights, which are these ones. They're damaged. So I'll show you guys how I take this one apart. And then I'll show you guys how I clean it, put the Sealant back together, and then we'll put it and we'll reseal it using Morimoto Retrorubber. If you're new to my channel, feel free to subscribe. So unlike the previous videos, in this video I'll be using an oven to heat up the headlight. This oven is an electric oven. I have never tried an gas oven to open the headlights, but I was told it's not a good idea. So I've been using electric ever since. So to turn it on, you select bake, and for temperature I like to use 235. Now we'll start. So while the oven heats up, do not put headlights inside, otherwise the headlight will melt, because the heating element, let's take this thing out of the way. The heating element in the bottom gets red hot while it warms up, and it will burn the plastic if it's exposed to it. Your goal is to get the temperature hot enough and for the heat element to turn off before you put the headlight in. And 235 is good because in order for it to keep up with the heat, it only turns it on for a couple of seconds and then turns it off, so which is safe for the headlight. I like to put this for the safety. I bought this on purposely in this cooking pan, which is more of a headlight cooking pan. My wife does not use this one, and I put this one in just to be on the safe side. Now we'll just wait for the oven to preheat to 235 degrees. While the oven is heating up, get your tools ready. This is a paint scraper tool. 1.25 inches is the width of this. Has a little bend to it to add the durability. It's a good tool. I use it a lot. And then we'll need a screwdriver. This is the first step. We'll use the screwdriver. So what we'll do is we'll go all the way around the headlight and loosen the edge. This lip right here. Loosen this lip from the glass itself. So when it gets hot, I won't have enough time to talk, but that's what you do. And then the last step, since the head is going to be hot, put some gloves on. These are the cheap Harbor Freight gloves, but they work their magic. I like them a lot. They get hot, but not it's bearable hot, where you can handle the headlight. So we'll put these tools on the side for now. The oven is preheated, and we'll install the headlight inside the oven right now. So we'll put the pan in first. Just take it and drop it in, and do it fast so the heat element doesn't go on or it doesn't cool the oven as much. And then you take the headlight and we'll put it in this way or this way, doesn't really matter. So we'll open it, put it in like that, and then close it. And now we'll have to wait 15 minutes is a good time for a first time. At 235 degrees, 15 minutes is perfect. 15 minutes later, remove the headlight. Careful, it's hot. Close the lid and don't turn off the oven, because we'll heat up the headlight for the second time. So now take a flathead screwdriver and then start prying around the tabs. Careful. Careful around here. Don't pry against this edge, because you will break that edge. So all around the headlight, the outside lip, which you can see is loose from the lens. Now the next step is we'll put it back in for 10 minutes, heat it up, and then we'll attempt to remove the whole headlight lens cover. Put it back in the oven for 10 minutes. 10 minutes has passed. Let's remove the headlight again. And then I'll try to pry it from this edge. Look, this is the strongest plastic. You can see the tabs right here. I always try to pry from a stronger plastic point so it has a good base. So let's give it a try. Remove the tab out of the way. So, help it out. Don't pry in one section because you will pry the plastic. Just take move with sections. You see this part get loosen up, move forward, and then move again forward, move again forward until that edge is pretty much loosened. So now I know this little edge is loose. I take this paint scraper tool, since it has a big area, 1.25. There's less chance for the plastic to bend the plastic or pry the plastic, mark the plastic. And then just start opening, go all the way around. This area right here, around the tab, loosen the tab. Don't bend it too much, just bend enough to where it loosens, just bend it this much. So this area is coming loose. Try mark it. So pops out. All the tabs. That's the major thing to do is watch the tabs. Do not bend the tabs. See, there's a tab right here. Carefully bend it out of the way. Do not over push it because you will break it. So carefully, just slightly move it out of the way. Slowly. And don't bend it too far. Now it's loose. And it cleared the tab, so now it's easier to remove. So that part is removing. Now let's try it again, the bottom edge, which is a little harder for some reason. And that's it. The lens is apart from the housing. I really like it when all the glue stays in the housing. That's why I like to separate that edge first. That helps the glue to stay on the housing. That way you only clean the housing, not the lens. Using Torx T20. Start removing the screws. To get to these 2 bolts, remove the Sealant. you can see, unplug this plug, press the plug down right here, and remove it, unplug it. This is where the original DRL plug-in. What they do with the diode dynamic is, so with the wire yellow on my right side, the first wire that goes on the left side is the black, so it's ground, black on black. And the second wire, which is blue with the gray stripe, that one goes to the red wire. And then the third on the list is blue with the white stripe. That one goes to the yellow wire on the diode dynamic. Alright, all the wiring are back to normal, to factory spec. So I soldered these 3 wires and then I heat shrink them, so that way they don't break or get contact. Next step is to clean the glue. This little step will be a little longer than usual, but I'll have to clean this whole glue because it's using silicone too. Not only the original Permaseal, but it's also using silicone, rubber silicone. So that's double the trouble. So for me to clean it apart, it'll take probably approximately an hour. So I'll clean it and I'll come back and we'll start installing it back on the OEM Sealant. The headlight's clean. Removed all the glue from inside. Here's a great example why you don't need to pry too hard. See how it bends the plastic? And here's another example when you have to move the tabs out of the way. If you don't, they crack. So this is from the previous person that installed the diode dynamics. The ones that took this apart, you can tell there's another screwdriver mark. So right here he actually cracked the plastic. It's hard to see in the camera, but there's a crack going along this line. So that means he moved it too hard and inside a corner, so the plastic can't move. They cracked it. So careful when you push it. And the same thing with this tabs. He bent it too far back, so this is a weak point right now, so it's not holding as strong. So don't bend the tabs back. Try to bend around it. So when you do take it apart and follow my instruction, I make it look easy, but be careful. Take your time. Since if it's your first, especially if it's your first time, and you never took a Permaseal headlight apart, take your time and move slowly, so that way it doesn't happen to you like this kind of stuff. Both side by side, the Sealights from the Ford. To my right is the OEM with OEM LED chips, and to my left is that diode dynamic with the modified LED chip. It's OEM Sealight but modified diode dynamic chip, and there originally between this plug and this plug there will be a driver. That's the reason why I'm replacing it. I'm going back to the original. We'll swap it out, install on the headlight, and start putting the headlight back together. Start by installing this driver. Plug it in. It's very important. Yeah. Now the or lens that I took apart, the parts lens. The glue, as you remember when I was taking it apart, I did the best to where the glue came off when I took off the headlight. But I couldn't say the same to the good lens, which has silicone all over the place. So I'll have to clean this, which I'll skip this step because it takes a long time to clean. Especially this this silicone right here. It's stuck to the lens and it will take a while to take it apart. All the scratches that you see there, which was done by the previous owner, I cannot remove though, but I'll do the best as I can because the headlight lens is in good condition. And these ones right here, it has a little damage. It's hard, you can't tell on the camera, but it has a little damage. The clear coat has a damage on it. Alright, the headlight lens is cleaned. I removed all the glue as best as I could. As you can see, this doesn't come out as easily. And I also bent back the plastics because they use a screwdriver and then bend the plastic back so it wasn't sitting properly on the edges. But this is the best I could do with this silicone. With OEM, you could have it clean as new, and you can see the scratches inside there, which is another reason why you don't force the headlight when you open. Now we're ready to reseal it, and we'll be using Morimoto Retrorubber. There's also another one, a good one that I like, is made by Diode. Their sealant is just as good as this one, if not even better. A little skinnier, which it makes it easier to apply in the grooves. And then you just start on one corner and just start applying it. Before we reseal it, I'm gonna use the vacuum duster. This is like a compressed air. And then without hitting the headlight, take the lens and install it while the glue is still cold. Like so. We'll reheat it using the heat gun for about 5 to 10 minutes. Let's heat it up. Press it down. Make sure it clips in the tab. The tabs are clipping in. Push on the front. There you go. All the clips are clipped in. Now, if you do not have the clips clipped in, or if you broke them, I strongly recommend you to staple them, because the headlight will come loose if the clips are missing, the stabs I mean. If they're missing the stabs, then your headlight will come apart. And here's the bottom end of it. All the clips are good. All the way around, all the tabs are clipped in. And just look at it. Watch it, see how it's holding. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching.